Hello, it's day 39, and in our Old Testament reading today we're starting a new book. We took that diversion to Job, and we explained why at the time. That was kind of the chronological thing to do, but now we pick up the story again in Exodus, and Exodus is very much a continuation of where we left off from Genesis. It's the continuing story of God's people. We left at the end of Genesis. God's people had ended up in Egypt, and that's exactly where we find them now. And Exodus is a really important book. The events that we're going to read about in the book of Exodus are going to be referred back to again and again and again throughout Scripture, throughout the rest of the Bible. And a couple of reasons for that. One is what's about to happen, this whole rescue of God's people from Egypt. It's going to mark out the Israelites. It's going to be that thing that they look back forever as a sign of God's faithfulness and his love in coming and getting them and rescuing them and pulling them out of that place of slavery and leading them in to his freedom. And into his promises. And in the same way, for us as Christians, we look back and we see in the events that are going to happen in Exodus, we see in them a picture of who God is, of his character, of what he does when he sees us in the slavery of our sin and our selfishness and our isolation from him. And he came and he sent his son to rescue us and to bring us out of that place. So the language and the stories that we're going to be reading about and what is revealed about who God is in this next book is really key for us as God's people. So let's look today at our particular passage, chapters 1, 2 and 3, and see what's going on there. It brings us up to speed with what's going on, and yeah, like I say, the fact that God's people ended up in Egypt and then they grew in numbers and all the stuff you've just read. I won't go over it again. But then, having sort of painted the big picture, we sort of home in on Moses. And Exodus was probably written by Moses, and he's going to feature very highly in it. One of the things that we notice about Moses from the get-go is that he has a passion for justice. And we see that in quick succession. We see that he comes across an Egyptian beating one of his own people, and he intervenes immediately and he kills this guy. And then straight after that we see that there's two Hebrews fighting, and again Moses intervenes and tries to sort that out. Then as he flees, because the murder of the Egyptian is exposed, he flees and he ends up in Midian. And what's the first thing he does? But he rescues the girls who are at the well drawing water, and when these shepherds come and drive them away, he intervenes again. And so we see this guy who his passion for justice is clear, but his passion for justice is also at the moment not submitted to God. And that's going to come later, where he learns how to take that thing that is very natural to him and to submit it to God's plan and God's way of doing things. And you have things in your life, and I have things in my life that are natural gifts, natural passions, natural leanings. And for us, the ongoing lesson that we need to learn is to submit to God, to submit to what he's saying. It's always better done his way. I hope you're going to enjoy Exodus. It's a great book. God's got lots to say to us through it. I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless.